A pleasant day, grade 7 students. Welcome to Mathematics 7, first quarter of week number 5. Okay, so our subject matter is all about forms of rational numbers and addition and subtraction of rational numbers. So, pwedeng pakilabas ninyo yung inyong activity sheets. I-discuss ko sa inyo yung laman ng ating AS. Okay, so the first part is points to remember. So, these are the rules about operations on fractions. So, we will start on the rules in adding or subtracting fractions. So, there are two kinds of fractions. We have the so-called similar fractions and we have dissimilar fractions. Question: how are we going to add similar fractions? So you have to follow the steps. There are only 3 steps in adding or subtracting fractions. Okay. When I say similar fractions, they have the same denominator. Okay. Or they are what we call like fractions. So step number 1, add or subtract the numerators. Number 2, keep the denominator the same. And then you always simplify. For example, if we have 1 over 10 plus 8 over 10, so you only add the numerator. So we have 1 plus 8, so we have 9 over 10. Okay, so keep the denominator the same. So the denominator is 10, so your denominator in your result should also be 10. And in our example, there's no need to simplify because 9 over 10 is already a simplified form. Next, example number 2. 7 over 12 minus 3 over 12. So you are going to subtract the numerator. So that will be 7 minus 3 equals 4 over 12. Or 1/3. Saan naman nakuha yung sagot natin na 1/3? That is taken from the greatest common factor between 4 and 12. So, ano yung highest number na pwedeng i-divide sa 4 and 12? That is 4. That's why 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So, this is now the simplified form of 4 over 12. Next, how about in terms of dissimilar fraction? Dissimilar fractions are fractions that do not have the same denominator. So, ibig sabihin, yung dalawang fraction, halimbawa, magkaiba yung kanyang denominator. And how are we going to solve dissimilar fractions? Okay, so we have how many rules or how many steps do we have? We have 4. The first one is find the least common denominator or what we call LCD of both fractions. Number 2, rewrite the fractions as equivalent fractions with the LCD as the denominator. Number 3, proceed in adding or subtracting the fractions as indicated. And the last one is you simplify your final result. Okay, so ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng least common denominator? That is taken from the least common multiple between the two denominators, 2 or more denominators. And then after that, you are going to rewrite the fractions as its equivalent fraction. Ano nga ba yung halimbawa ng equivalent fraction? Kagaya halimbawa ng 4 over 12 at saka 1/3. Okay, 4 over 12 is the same as 1/3. Okay, kasi nga kapag gumamit ka ng number, okay, pag gumamit ka ng the same number na pwede mong i-divide sa 4 at saka 3, kagaya halimbawa, sa 4 at saka 12, just like 4 divided by 4, 1/3. O pwede mo namang gawing halimbawa yung ito, 1/3. Multiply it by 5 over 5. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So, 5 over 15 is also the same as 1/3, 4 over 12. Rename. Okay, so you are going to find other fraction, but it is the same or equivalent. Okay, so after renaming the given fraction, proceed to addition and subtraction of fractions. Okay, so ibig sabihin, you can only add or subtract fractions that are similar. Fractions that are dissimilar cannot be simplified or cannot be solved, but you have to find out for the LCD to make the denominators of the given fractions be the same. Example, let's say 2 over 15 plus 3 over 5. Okay, so kunin mo yung multiples of 15 and 5. Alam naman ninyo siguro yung multiples. You are going to have skip counting by 15. So 15 plus 30, plus 15, so we have 30, plus 15, so we have 45, plus 15, we have 60, and so on. Okay, multiples. And then we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so you find out the common multiples of 15 and 5, and that is 15. Yan yung common yung the same. The smallest number, which is the multiple of 15 and 5. So LCD is 15. And this LCD becomes your new denominator. Okay? So over 15 over 15. Paano naman nakuha yung 2 at saka 9? Okay? So doon sa ating video na na-upload ko kahapon, in order to find out or to get the new numerator, you're going to divide the new denominator by the previous or old denominator. So 15 divided by 15 is 1. The result 1 will be multiplied by the old numerator. So 1 times 2 is 2, kaya nakuha doon yung 2. Doon naman sa 3 over 5, 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Ito yung tinatawag na rename fraction between 2 over 15 and 3 over 5. Take note na yung value ng 2 over 15, yung 3 over 15 at saka yung 9 over 15 ay the same. Okay, parehas lang sila. I-divide mo yan by 3. Ang lalabas ay 3 over 5. Next, so after renaming or having the same denominators, pwede mo nang i-add yung numerator. So go back to the rules in adding or subtracting similar fractions. So magiging 2 plus 9 is 11 over 15. Paano nga ba natin masasabi na yung fraction is simplified? Kapag ang pwede lang, ang divisible lang ng numerator at denominator ay 1, that is what we call simplest form. Fractions in its simplest form. Okay? Pero kung meron pang pwedeng i-divide sa kanila, more than 1, just like 2, 3, 4, divisible by 2, by 3, by 4, so ibig sabihin, hindi pa siya simplified na sagot. Okay, next. Let's have example number 3. 2/3 minus 1/3. 3 over 6 minus 1/3. So, kunin mo yung multiples ng 6 and 3. So, multiples ng 6, gaya ng sinabi ko, kapag multiples, you can have skip counting. Plus 6, plus 6, plus 6. Kaya naging 6, 12, 18, 24. Dito naman sa 3, skip counting by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. Kung napapansin ninyo dito sa sagot natin, ang common multiple nila ay 6 at saka 12. Okay? Pero ang kukunin natin is, since we have LCD, L means least, yung pinakamababa, that's why the LCD is 6. So ito na yung magiging new denominator natin, kaya nagkaroon tayo dito. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, times 3 is 3. Dito naman 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then we have times 1, so we have 2. Okay, dito meron siyang mali. It should be 3 minus 2 is 1 over 6. Oh, ano ang pwedeng i-divide pa sa 1 at saka 6? 1, no more, no less. Okay. Next, ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng mixed number? It is a combination between a whole number and a fraction. Proper fraction. Meron din kasi tayong tinatawag na fraction which is proper and improper. Pag sinabi nating improper fraction, pwede mo siyang i-simplify into mixed number. Okay? Ngayon, pag sinimplify mo siya into mixed number, ang magiging sagot mo ay whole number at saka proper fraction. Kasi pag sinabi nating proper fraction, mas mababa yung numerator kesa yung denominator in terms of its value. Kagaya nito, 1 over 6 is a proper fraction because 1, the numerator, is smaller than denominator. Okay, next. Steps on how to add or subtract similar fractions. Okay? Convert mixed number to improper fraction. Ano yung improper fraction? Mas malaki yung numerator kaysa denominator. Okay, so we are talking about similar fraction. Mixed number using similar fraction. Okay, so anong pinakaunang gagawin mo? Convert mixed number to improper fraction. Another, you add or subtract them using the rule in adding and subtracting fractions. And the last will be simplify by converting back to mixed numbers. Okay, example tayo. Example number 6. 2 and 3 over 4 plus 3 and 1/2. Ito yung halimbawa ng mixed numbers. May whole number at saka meron siyang proper fraction. Ano ang sabi niya doon sa rule natin? I-convert daw muna natin siya into an improper fraction. Paano natin siya i-convert? Okay, you will make use of multiplication and addition as your operation. Okay, starting on the denominator multiplied by whole number. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3, so we have 11. And then you copy the given denominator. So we have 11 over 4. Next, 3 and 1/2. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, so we have 7 over 2. Okay? Next, may mali tayo dito. This is an example of dissimilar fraction. Siguro ang ginawa niya dito is 4, nagkamali lang siya. Okay, tingnan natin. So ito ay 3 and 1/4. So magiging 4. Okay, so tingnan natin. Similar kasi yung nasa taas. So gagawin natin siyang dissimilar. So ano yung LCD ng 4 at saka ng 2? Ano nga ba yung common multiple ng 2 at saka 4? 2, 4, 6. Yung 4 naman, 4, 8. Ang lowest nila, least common denominator is 4. So magiging 4 and then 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1 times 11 is 11. Dito naman, 4 divided by 2 is 2 times 7 is 14. That's why we have 11 plus 14 is 25 over 4. Ano ang sabi niya? Simplify or convert back to mixed number. So ano nga ba ang mixed number ng 25 over 4? So ang pwede natin niyang magiging solution is you are going to divide the numerator by denominator. Okay? Numerator by denominator. Okay, example. So we are going to insert equation. Okay? Okay. Magdi-divide muna pala tayo. Magdi-divide muna tayo. Okay. So 25 divided by, nasaan na yung divided by dito? 25 divided by, insert equation. Okay, mag-insert na lang tayo ng symbol. Okay, yung symbol ng division. 25 divided by 4. Ano nga ba ang 25 divided by 4? Okay, it should be smaller than 25. Tama? So, 25 divided by 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So, magiging 6. Okay? 6. So, yung 6 divide 6 times 4 is equal to 24. Kaya magiging 25 minus 24 is 1. That's why we have a final answer of 1, 6, and 1 over 6 and 1 over 4. Tingnan natin kung siya ay tama. Paano natin palalabasin yung 25 over 4? 4 times 6 is 24 plus 1 is 25 over 4. Ganon siya. So, if you will bring back or convert back to mixed number, numerator divided by denominator. Yung remainder mo, ang siyang magiging proper fraction. Okay? So, yung remainder mo, ang siyang magiging numerator. Yung divisor mo kay yung denominator na ginamit mo, ang siyang magiging denominator mo doon sa final answer. Okay? Another one. 3 and 5 over 8 minus 1 and 3/4. Okay? So, mixed number. Sabi niya, convert mixed number to proper. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 5 is 29 over 8. Dito naman is 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7 over 4. Ano yung kanyang least common multiple? 4, 8. Kaya 8 yung kanyang multiple. Okay? So, gamitan mo siya ng kagaya nito. You are going to list down all the multiples and then get the least common denominator or the least common multiple. Okay, so that is 8 divided by 8 is 1 times 9 is 29. 8 divided by 4 is 2 times 7 is 14. And then you subtract. 29 minus 14 is... Oh, bakit ito? Addition naman ang ginawa niya. I-check na lang natin. 29 minus 14 is how many? 15 over 8. So, the correct answer here is 15 over 8. Okay? Sulat natin. May mali dito. 15 over 8. Okay. 15 over 8. Ngayon, paano natin ilalagay yan sa mixed number? 15 divided by 8 is 1, tama? 1. Okay? Next, 1 times 8 is 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. So, ang remainder niya ay 7 over 8. Okay? So, ang sagot dito ay 7 over 8. So, ito yung tamang sagot. Mali yung nandyan sa ating module. Okay, tingnan natin dito. Hindi niya pinakita dito. May mali talaga doon. Okay, mas malinaw kasi ito kaya ito yung aking ginagamit. Okay, so that's all about adding and subtracting similar and dissimilar fractions. Next, how about decimals? Take note that decimal is also a rational numbers because it can be expressed as a ratio of two numbers. Number expressed in the scale of 10. Okay, commonly when numbers include a decimal point to represent a whole number plus a fraction of a whole number, tens, hundreds, etc. Okay, rules. What are you going to do? How are you going to add or subtract decimals? Line up the decimal points so that similar place values are lined up. In other words, the tens place in both numbers should be lined up. The ones placed in both numbers should be lined up, and others. If the numbers do not have the same number of digits after the decimal point, you can use filler zeros to help you line up the numbers. Kagaya nito. Okay. Next, you're going to add or subtract as indicated. Okay, dito ang indicated operation natin is addition. 1 and 425 thousandths, 3 decimal place, 2, 1 and 3 tenths. Okay, tingnan niyo dito, tatlo yung decimal place, dito naman isa. So, ano ang filler na ilalagay natin? 0. Okay, so tingnan niyo unahin ninyo na ilagay yung decimal point. And then the whole number. And then 432, 432. Dito naman 3, laging dito because the first decimal place is what we call the tenth digit, which is the highest place value in the decimal number. And then you add. Oh, ganyan lang siya. Parang kang nag-a-add rin lang ng numbers na parang whole number. But what's important is you are going to line up according to the place value. Next, subtract. 3 and 25 hundredths. Dito tatlo yung kanyang decimal place kaya nilagyan niya ng filler dito sa 25 ng 0. Paano tayo ngayon mag-subtract? 0 divided by 5 ay 0 minus 5. Okay? So, anong gagawin niya? You borrow 10 from 5. Kaya yung 5 magiging 4. 10 minus 5 is 5. Ito naman 4 minus 7 cannot be. So, you borrow here 10. Hihiram ka dito sa 2 ng 10. Kaya ito magiging 14 minus 7 is 7. Yung 2 naging 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. And then decimal point. And then 3 minus 0 is 3. So, ganun lang kadali yung ating decimal. Okay, so let's now have your activity. Addition and subtraction of fractions. Okay, so what are you going to do? You perform the indicated operations and express your answer in simplest form. Let's say number 1. Ano ang sabi niya kapag similar fractions? You always add the numerators, then copy the denominators. Let's say number 1, 2 plus 3 plus 1. Ano ang sagot? Over 9. So kung ito ay pwede pang i-simplify, simplify by getting the greatest common factor, GCF. Okay? Yung highest number na pwedeng i-divide sa numerator at saka denominator. Okay? Yung divisible, the highest divisible number of both numerator and denominator. So that is good for number 1 and number 2. Dito naman sa number 3, 12 and 10, yung kanyang denominator, this is considered dissimilar fractions, okay? Anong gagawin mo? Find the multiples of 12 and 10. Okay? Ano? So, skip counting by 12, skip counting by 10. Ano ang mapapalabas mo dyan na magiging new denominator nila? Okay. So, 12, 24, 36, plus 12, 48, plus 12, 60. plus 12, 72. Dito naman sa 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So parehas sila na meron silang common factor or common multiple na 60. So gagamitin mo dito yung 60 as your new denominator. Pagkatapos, kunin mo yung new numerator by using division multiplication. Kagaya halimbawa ng 60 divided by 12 times 5. 60 divided by 10 times 7. Ganon. Next, number 4. Ganon din siya, but make use of subtraction. Okay? Next, paano naman yung number 5? A combination of a mixed number and a fraction. Madali lang. Gawin mong fraction din ito, pero improper fraction. 12 times 2 plus 5 over 12. And then, kunin mo yung kanyang LCD. Skip counting by 12. 12, 24, 36, 48. Dito naman is 3, 6, 9, 12. So, 12 yung kanyang pinaka-smallest na common multiple. So, ang LCD mo dito ay 12. Next is number 6. Okay, sa number 6 naman, paano naman siya? Okay, you subtract between 7 over 9 and 1 over 12. Ano yung kanyang LCD? Okay, skip counting. Number 7 and number 8, you subtract, but please, you're going to change first this into an improper fraction before subtracting. Okay, next, how about in number 8? Okay, ito muna ang simplify mo. What is 1/4 plus 2/3? Kung ano yung magiging sagot mo dito, minus 1/2. Okay? And then for number 9, gawin mo muna ito na improper fraction. Yung 3 and 5 over 11, gawin mo muna improper fraction. Ito naman whole number. Ano nga ba ang denominator ng whole number? 10 over 1. And then for number 10, lahat ito i-add mo, pero kunin mo yung kanyang LCD ng 28 and 5. So, 20, 40, 60, 80, and so on. Yung 8 naman, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. O, dito may 40 sa 20 kanina. Dito naman is 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so yung LCD nito ay 40. And then, kunin mo na yung new numerator. And then, always simplify. Okay, so if we are talking about fraction, your answer is always to the lowest term or simplified form. Next, for addition and subtraction of decimals, you perform the indicated operation. Ano yung unang gagawin mo dyan? So, you are going to line up. Okay? Line up the decimal point. And then you line up all the numbers according to its place value. Okay. Next, paano naman kaya ito? Unahin mo munang isolve yung 2 and 4500s plus 7 and 8900s. Bago mo siya i-subtract sa 4 and 5600s. Ganon din dito sa number 10. 10 minus 5 and 891,000. Bago mo i-add doon sa 7 and 9900s. Next, problem solving in activity number 3. Solve the following problems. Inday and Bebang. Okay, palitin natin. Some more. Yan. Inday and Bebang are comparing their heights. If Inday's height is 120 and 3/4 centimeter and Bebang's height is 96 and 1/3 centimeter, what is the difference in their heights? So your keyword here is difference. What do you mean by difference? So you are going to subtract na 120 and 3/4 by 96 and 1/3. O, ganun lang siya kadali. So what are you going to do in problem solving is, you're going to read and understand the problem, you identify the given, and then find out the word clue in order for you to know what operation to be used. Same true in number 2. Okay. Kalupe both 6 and 4/4 meters of silk, 3 and 1/2 meters of satin, and 8 and 2/5 meters of velvet. How many meters of cloth did she buy? Okay, how many meters of cloth? Meaning to say, all of this will be added. Okay? All of this will be added and your unit will be in meters. Okay? For number 1, the unit is centimeter. If your answer is only a fraction or a mixed number without your unit, your answer will be incorrect. Dito, ang unit mo ay meters. Dapat meron kang yung word na meters. Or, symbol for meter is small letter M. And many more hanggang sa number 10. Okay? So, that's all about week number 5, part 1. Okay? So, let's have multiplication and division of rational numbers. Okay, how are we going to multiply and divide fractions? Okay, we will start on multiplication. To multiply rational numbers in fraction form, simply multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators and reduce the answer to the lowest term. Okay, so the symbol used in multiplication are the following. So it could be a dot, small letter X, or parentheses. Okay, so yun yung pwedeng gamitin. So in symbol, A over B times C over D, so that is A times C, kaya meron tayong AC, B times D, so we have BD, where B and D are not equal to 0. Okay? Example tayo, 1/2 times 3/4. 1 times 3, so 3. So 3. 2 times 4 is 8. So your product is 3/8. Okay, next, how are we going to divide rational numbers in fraction form? Take the reciprocal of the second fraction, called the divisor, and multiply it by the first fraction. Ano ang nangyari dito? Let's say, example number 2. 4/5 divided by 1/2. Ano ang sabi niya? Yung second fraction daw, which is a divisor as part. Okay? Kunin mo yung kanyang reciprocal or you just interchange the position of numerator and denominator. So, magiging 2/1. 1/2 has a what? Reciprocal of 2/1. And then after getting its reciprocal, you can now multiply the numerator and denominator. So, we have 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. So, magiging 8/5. Or, simplify. To simplify is 8 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. So, 1 and 3/5. Ito yung kanyang final answer. Okay. Next, how about multiplying and dividing decimals? Okay. How are you going to multiply decimals? Multiply the numbers just like the normal as if decimal point wasn't there. O, kagaya rin lang daw siya ng multiplying whole number. Okay. Sabi niya, just like the normal as if decimal point wasn't there. Parang wala. Isipin mo wala daw yan. Basta you just multiply 1 by 1. But in your product, you're going to count the decimal places there are in the numbers you multiplied. And then you add the decimal point to the answer by counting the number of decimal places from right to left. O, tingnan natin dito. 4 and 2200. So, ito na yon. 4 and 2200 multiplied by 3 and 1/10. Okay. So, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 4 is 4. Okay? So, 4 ito. Ito naman is 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So, ito kanina ay 4. Okay? May malit dito. So, that is, bring down 4. You add 2 plus 6 is 8. 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay? 0. Carry 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then bring down 1. So, 13 and 82 hundreds. Okay. Bilangin mo, ilan nga ba yung decimal places natin? Both. Okay. Sa ating factor, 1, 2, 3. Kaya doon sa final answer mo, 1, 2, 3, and then decimal point. Okay. Paano naman kaya kapag nasa dividing decimals tayo? Multiply the divisor by as many tenths as necessary until we get the whole number. Multiply the dividend by the same number of tenths, then divide the values. Count the decimal places there are in the numbers you multiply. Add the decimal point to the answer by counting the number of decimal places from right to left. Okay, kagaya halimbawa nito, 15 divided by 0.2. Okay. 0.2 times 10 is 20. And then 15 times 10 is what? 150. Kaya magiging 150 divided by 20. Or simply, ganito na lang siya. Okay, nasaan kaya dito yung ating division symbol? Parang wala. Wala siya. Parang magiging ano siya kasi 15 divided by 20 is 150 divided by 20 is 75. So, tapos ilan ba? Ilan ba yung decimal place niya dito kanina? 1, kaya magiging 7.5. Okay? 7.5. Next. Activity number 1. So, kagaya na sinabi ko sa inyo, if you are going to multiply fraction, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. In case meron tayong mixed number, gawin mo muna siyang improper fraction bago mo siya i-multiply. Okay, kagaya ng number 4, number 6. Ito naman, madali na lang ito, 2 over 1. Okay, 2 over 1. Next, division of fractions. Ano ang sinabi ko kanina sa inyo? Okay? So, kunin mo yung reciprocal ng divisor. 20 divided by 2/3 magiging 20 times 3 over 2. 3 over 2. 5 over 12 times 4 over 3. Kagaya sa number 4 naman, ganun din ang gagawin mo. Kunin mo muna yung kanyang mix o yung kanyang improper fraction bago mo kunin yung reciprocal ng divisor. Ganun din dito sa 7. Okay? 13 or 6 times 13 is 78 plus 1 is 79 over 6 times reciprocal of 2 over 1, 1/2. Ganon. So, 79 over 6 times 1 over 2. Okay? Product and quotient of decimals, ganun din siya. Okay? So, you are going to, for number 1, number 1, number 4, number 5, number 8, and number 10, you are going to divide. And remaining numbers, you multiply. You always consider the number of decimal places in both multiplication and division. Okay, so that ends our week number 5. If there are some queries, questions, or lessons that are not yet, what do you call this one? Yung mga medyo malabo pa sa inyo, please don't hesitate to give your messages, personal o kaya doon sa ating group chat. So that ends our tutorial. Good luck and have a nice day.